Hello and a very warm welcome. Another rant participating on the channel. Over to you, the Brazilian baby, Felipe Massa. Massa steps up legal action over the 2008 world title loss. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to blow my gasket. Felipe Massa, big, stiff baby. It was 15 years ago. Why are you only mentioning it now? Because an old man in Ecclestone has give you something to go on. It's a non-starter. And yeah, we can all play for tit for tat with the 2008 season. Felipe Massa has stepped up his legal battle over losing the 2008 F1 title by sending a letter to the FIA and F1. The details of his appealing claim. He hasn't got a claim. Stop giving this guy the headlines. He's won 11 races in Formula 1. His best known moment is moving over Fernando Alonso at Hockenheim, a number 2 driver at best. He was Schumacher's lapdog. He's Alonso's lapdog. Forget about this guy. Should he have been 2008 champion? Probably. But if my auntie was my uncle, she'd have a pair of bollocks. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Felipe Massa as if he's some god. He won 11 races. He was a number 2 driver. Forget about this guy and stop giving him the headlines the league craves. In April, Massa signalled his intention to take legal action. Bernie Ecclestone's been talking, saying they could have took action before the title was decided, and yeah, that's where we're heading. But Ecclestone, he's always looking for the headlines, and yeah, Massa's going on what he was being told. In March, Ecclestone was quoted in an interview. Nelson Piquet deliberately crashed. Fernando Alonso won the race. And they already knew about all this, and they could have took legal action. It was one of the best title deciders you can remember. The last lap, the last corner, we still didn't know who was going to be champion, but again, we can't enjoy it because the big stiff Brazilian, who was actually gracious on the podium, is now being a big stiff baby. Forget about it. It was 15 years ago, and now you bring it up now. Let it go, let it go. It is sour grapes, and obviously people. Hungary, he was leading. His engine went bang. That's unlucky. Part of the sport. Kovalainen won his first race. Singapore, of course it was a fixed race, but yeah, Ferrari messed up with the fuel nozzle. Yeah, but go back further. Felipe Massa, the reason he's not champion is because he cannot drive in the wet. That is the facts of the matter. He was leading at Monaco, went off at Sant'Avò. Silverstone, he spun 5 times. Whose fault's that? Massa, he's inept. Couldn't drive in the wet. I don't believe he won out of his 11 races. I don't believe he won in the wet. Great drivers win in all conditions. Felipe Massa is not a great driver. He was a number 2 at best, and now he's banging on about something that happened 15 years ago. Never mentioned it, and now all of a sudden he wants to, it's not going to be changed, the result. Hamilton was the champion. Ecclestone's in the wrong as well for giving him bloody bait to work on. Yeah. It's a non-argument. Felipe Massa. I mean, simply put, Mr. Massa is the rightful 2008 champion, and F1 and the FIA deliberately ignored the misconduct that cheated him out of the title. Mr. Massa is unable to fully quantify his loss at this stage, but estimated that would have cost him tens of millions. I mean, he's already well off. Yeah. It remains to be seen whether or not Massa's team has a realistic avenue to challenge the 15 years. 15 years, and now it's embarrassing. I would not be giving this guy the time of day. Absolute embarrassment, Felipe Massa. Honestly, if you could drive in the wet, you would be champion. But if you're playing for tit for tat, what about Lewis Hamilton's bullshit penalty at Spa, where he let Raikkonen back through, passed him, and the FIA gave him a penalty for it? Criminal. And you While you're spinning round at Silverstone 95 times, Lewis Hamilton's lapping the field and getting his best ever win in the sport. So, sour grapes this one. I am sick and tired of Felipe Massa. Honestly, I am absolutely ranting about this guy. I mean, what's his claim to fame? Moving over for Alonso when you were leading. Hockenheim, you're in. Fernando is faster than you. And what do? You move over. Schumacher's lapdog, Alonso's lapdog, and he's banging on about the 2008 title. A number 2 driver at best. Would not even go down in the top 100 drivers in F1. And he's getting all the media headlines now that he's appealing and he wants legal action. Nothing's going to happen. Felipe Massa, yeah, honestly, he's known as one of the nicest guys, but he's gone down in my estimation. Forget Massa, honestly. 11 wins and he thinks he's some sort of god. It's an absolute joke. Ecclestone's to blame for giving him bloody, he's almost giving him bait. Yeah, anyone could say 2008 was fixed, but imagine who was in like second or third. They could easily claim the result was wrong. And you're playing tit for tat. Every driver could say, oh, well, 2008 cost me this. Yeah. Can Felipe Massa overturn Lewis Hamilton? No, he can't. Forget it. Felipe Massa is a joke. Forget about him. Stop giving him media coverage because he doesn't deserve it. Yeah. The end of the day, if he could actually race in the wet like the greats, Senna, Hamilton and Max, he would be champion. Yeah. Felipe Massa, absolute clown show. Honestly. Comment down below your thoughts. I would love to know. I am sick and tired of hearing this Brazilian bullshit from this guy. Honestly. Let it go. 15 years and he decides to kick up a song and dance now. He was so gracious on the podium, beating his chest, proper pride. And that's all gone out the window with what he's doing now. So, yeah. Like I said, if he could drive in the wet, he would be champion. And he's tit for tat. Oh, the fuel nozzle. Yeah. Like Hungary, that was unlucky in fairness. But, yeah. He did all he needed to do. He won the race. And then, yeah. It was one of the best final deciders. Last lap, last corner, we still didn't know who was champion. Before it was Glop moved out the way, even though he was on dry tyres on a wet track. And now it's the Singapore race was fixed. Clinging on, and it will forever hurt him that Lewis Hamilton is a 2008 champion. I'm not even a fan of Lewis anymore, but this is absolute sour grapes. It's a non-story. And, yeah. Big Brazilian baby. That's all there is to it. A number 2 driver at best. Yeah. Not a champion. Not got the minerals to be champion. And that's the way it is. I'm tired of it. Tired of hearing about this. It really is. Honestly, it's absolutely embarrassing from Massa's point of view.